All right, what's good, man? Let's get into it. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions, man. And last year around this time, I was calling the Lions overrated. I was saying I don't believe in them because of the Detroit Lions. They're just a poverty franchise. They're just a cursed franchise. I mean, you have Calvin Johnson, you have Barry Sanders, you had Night Train Lane, you had Matthew Stafford. You had all these things and couldn't even sniff the playoffs some years. But it seems like a new day in Detroit. But I'm sorry, I'm just not sold on the Lions. And this has nothing to do with their talent. Not at all. I have nothing wrong with their talent. I think they're one of the most talented rosters in the NFL. It's just Detroit. I'm sorry. I can't. Detroit is one of those things, until it actually happens, I'm not going to put my stock into it. I'm just not going to put my stock into it. Now, am I saying Detroit's going to miss the playoffs? No, absolutely not. But I will say this. The division got harder. Jordan Love and the Packers are a good team. The Bears got, we're going to see what's up with Caleb Williams in that Bears offense and that Bears defense. Vikings are going to be trash because they lost, what's his name? Oh, my gosh, what's his name? J.J. McCarthy. And we all know Sam Darnold's a bum. It is what it is there. That's six. That's what. So Lions. So even with the Vikings are still a divisional game. So that's 6 games right there that are going to be tough, and that they're probably going to get maybe, and they're at least going to get 2 losses. I think they're going to split with the Bears, split with the Packers, and then I'll say they'll sweep the Vikings, but you never know. It's still a division game, and just honestly. This is just more about the reputation of the Lions. Now, number one, I will say this. I hope Dan Campbell learned from his mistakes from last year and takes his 3 points. I get risking it for the biscuit, whatever the case may be, but it did cost them the NFC Championship game. But it's just the Lions, bro. I can't do it. It's the same thing with, like, the Bills, the Browns, the Chargers. It's like the Cowboys. What can go wrong will go wrong. Like, what can go wrong will go wrong for those teams. Jacksonville is like, I just can't do it. The Falcons, like all these teams I'm naming, all these teams, Washington, all the teams that I'm naming, it's like, I have to see all these teams, including Detroit, to do something before I actually put stock into them. Is Detroit a good team? Absolutely. Are they going to make the playoffs? Most likely, yes. But can I see them going to the Super Bowl? No. I just can't. I cannot see it because it's just Detroit. This is the same team that had Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford, Calvin and Matthew Stafford on the same team. And also, didn't they also have Golden Tate too? Didn't they have Golden Tate and Anquan Bolton on those Detroit teams? And then was it Marvin Jones that I'm thinking of off the top of my head? A rookie Marvin Jones? I don't remember. But those Stafford teams were stacked. Were they as stacked as this team? No, obviously. But they were stacked, and yet they still couldn't do anything. They had Darius Slay on defense. They had Ndamukong Suh. They had those people underrate those Matthew Stafford years. Granted, they did have Jim Caldwell. Was Jim Caldwell at coach? I get it. But even then, they still made the playoffs then and still were cursed of not even to get into the second round. They lost to the Cowboys, another cursed franchise. They lost to Tony Romo, and then they lost to Aaron Rodgers one year off a Hail Mary, I believe. So I was like, I can't even believe in the Cowboys then. I mean, the Cowboys. I can't even believe in the like, if you want to look at a team that's more cursed than the Cowboys and stuff, the Lions are it. The Lions are it. I just can't do it with them. I'm not sold on them. If they go to the Super Bowl and win it all, God bless them. I'll come on here and say I'm wrong. I have nothing against the Lions. I respect Dan Campbell and, the team that they built. They built it through the draft. They added free agency here and there. But once again, it's just the Lions. I just can't. I can't do it with them. It's like people say, I can't see Cleveland going this far. I can't see the Cowboys going this far. That's how I feel about the Lions. And that's how everybody should feel about the Lions. I get it. They're a cool story, cool little engine that could story. Dan Campbell's biting off kneecaps. And he's going for on fourth down, costing them NFC championship games. Cute story. Jared Goff. And I think Jared Goff's a good quarterback. I think he's underrated to a point. I mean, the guy's been to a NFC championship game with the Lions and with the Rams. Has been to a Super Bowl. I think he's a lower top 10 quarterback. At worst, top 15. I mean, I'll take him over Dak. I might take him over Jalen Hurts if he doesn't bounce back. I'll take him over, I think CEO said it in the podcast. I might take him over Justin Herbert. And maybe even Trevor Lawrence too, Jared Goff. I mean, does Jared Goff need an offensive line? Sure, but you can say that about any NFL team. So it's not about the Lions team. It's just about the Lions themselves. I just can't. The Jets. Jets are another example. The teams I just named, all the teams I just named, you throw that in the Lions, I have to see it to believe it. Until then, I'm just not sold. The Bears, another team, even though they have a great draft, and I believe, Caleb Williams is one of my favorite players in the NFL and in college football last year. I just can't do it. And I'm just not sold on the Lions. Granted, once again, I could be wrong like I was last year. I said they were overrated. They could go to the NFC Championship game. But now there's a lot of pressure on them. Now teams are going to be extra ready for them. Even though they were last year, they're going to be extra ready for them this year. So we'll see what happens, man, with the Lions. I'm just not sold on them. It is what it is. That's my thoughts. What are yours? Where do you have the Lions? I think we all have the Lions going to the playoffs, but where do you have them? First round, second round, third round? RJ out.